Coming up on AgweekTV, we head to Washington, D.C., where we caught up with U.S. Secretary of Ag, Sonny Perdue.
I'm Michelle Rook. President Trump says he'll renegotiate NAFTA, but what would make it a better deal for agriculture? We'll find out today on Agweek.
And new research about the health effects of avoiding gluten is good news for wheat growers. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Shawna Olson. During the presidential campaign, Donald Trump called NAFTA one of the worst trade deals in history. He promised voters he would get rid of it as soon as possible. Trump recently announced he was going to withdraw from NAFTA, only to reverse the decision 12 hours later. But many are worried if the White House renegotiates with Canada and Mexico, since the two countries are already the top export customers for many U.S. products. Michelle Rook talked to farm group leaders to find out what they'd like to see in the trade pact.
President Trump has decided he'll renegotiate rather than withdraw from NAFTA, much to the relief of farm groups. But what would make it a better deal for agriculture? For many sectors of agriculture, they don't believe they can renegotiate a better trade agreement.
NAFTA really opened the door for wheat in Mexico. They had a lot of restrictions before. They dropped their tariff gradually to zero. It's become our number one market.
Our exports of corn quintuple over this time period, and that's tremendous impact for farmers in the U.S. agricultural economy.
When it comes to cattle and beef, we want to be left alone. It works well, and because of NAFTA, we have two $1 billion markets, both in the north and south.
However, the one commodity that might benefit the most from renegotiating NAFTA is dairy, due to Canada's new pricing strategy.
We completely gave up any power over the Canadians whatsoever in NAFTA. We gave them complete autonomy of their supply management system in dairy and poultry.
Ray Starling, ag liaison to the White House, agrees policy on dairy, poultry, and fruits and vegetables could be improved, in addition to
not just in the numbers of what we sell or what comes in. Some of it comes down to how quickly do we resolve disputes when we have a dispute.
However, he says they realize NAFTA has been good for agriculture, and that will shape their negotiations.
Keeping what we have, particularly as it relates to agriculture, and then improving upon it.
In Washington, D.C., I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Agweek.
NAFTA is one of the many concerns of the new U.S. Secretary of Ag, Sonny Perdue. I recently headed to Washington, D.C. with the National Association of Farm Broadcasters. We had a chance to sit down with Perdue. I found him to be warm, casual, and super friendly.
Welcome to 31st Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue.
U.S. Secretary of Ag, Sonny Perdue, entered the room full of farm broadcasters with a warm welcome.
I see some of you got the dress code. If others want to take their coats off, feel free, okay?
He's the 31st U.S. Secretary of Ag, one of the first from the Southeast.
I sort of feel like my life history has kind of brought me to this point. Obviously, growing up on a diversified row crop farm, dairy farm as well. Having graduated from veterinary school at the University of Georgia, a little Air Force experience.
He served as governor of Georgia for 8 years, from 2003 to 2011.
And many of my friends said, why do you want to do this at your stage of life? I believe when you're tapped on the shoulder and from a service standpoint, I'm the kind of guy that says salutes and says put me in, coach.
He says trade will be on the top of the list in his new role, along with regulation and immigration.
I think the president and Scott Pruitt have already made a great step forward in the regulation area. We will. I think we've made great steps from the president and his decision on NAFTA and the trade and what we just talked about with China in that area. You just need to know I'm a grow it and sell it kind of guy.
Perdue says his views on agriculture have been shaped by his firsthand knowledge as a farmer and as an agribusinessman.
Whether you rent it or you own it, We're all just stewards, and we need to leave it better than we found it. And that's my goal. That's my oath to these employees. I told them the other day in Whitten and in Kansas City, my oath to them is to leave the USDA better than I found it, thus American agriculture better than we found it.
Perdue is taking the role just as President Trump is suggesting a 21% cut in USDA's discretionary spending. When asked about that, Perdue says his role as governor through a recession has prepared him. The Environmental Protection Agency is considering a nationwide waiver to allow sales of E15 fuels year-round. EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt told members of the National Association of Farm Broadcasting the waiver is being reviewed.
We are looking at that internally to allow E15 to be sold throughout the year, a national waiver, if you will. There's a statutory analysis that's ongoing that we're going to hopefully be able to conclude that process very soon. I very much hope that we can get there. It's just a matter of whether the statute permits it or not.
The EPA is reviewing the legal authority to grant the Reed vapor pressure waiver. If the statute doesn't allow for the waiver would then require action by Congress. Reed vapor pressure, or RVP, is a common measure of the volatility of gasoline. Pruitt also said the EPA will no longer miss deadlines to release targets under the renewable fuel standard. Coming up on AgweekTV, it's planting season. We'll see how it's going for some around the region.
AM 970 WDAY, North Dakota's oldest radio station, has added the Red River Farm Network to its lineup. Join veteran farm broadcaster Mike Hergert and the rest of the Red River Farm Network's team as they partner with AM 970 WDAY and Agweek to cover the area's _1 industry, agriculture. Join us Monday through Friday for Country Morning Today starting at 7 a.m., opening markets at 8:30, and market updates will run at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. Closing markets will run at 1:30 p.m. Tune in to AM 970 WDAY.
When you need electricity way out here, you better get yourself one mighty long extension cord. Or better yet, a portable Honda generator from Home of Economy. Rugged, dependable, and so quiet, you won't miss a sound. Pick one up today at the guaranteed lowest price, only at Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
Introducing the new Challenger 1000 series, tractors unlike any other manufactured by AGCO. Redefining what a wheel tractor is capable of when it comes to wheel slip, power to ground, and fuel economy. Today, it's not enough just to be tough. You've got to be smarter than everyone else, too. Contact your Challenger dealer today to get in the seat of the new Challenger 1000. Superior engineering, superior performance, superior productivity. The next generation of tractors from your Challenger dealer.
The window of opportunity in farming is short. Make sure your Case IH equipment is ready to make the most of it by using only genuine Case IH replacement parts from Titan Machinery. Only original Case IH parts are engineered for maximum life and performance in your equipment. Don't take chances with off-brand parts that may fail when you need your equipment the most. Contact your local Titan Machinery dealership and find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value for your farming operation.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580. We've seen some warm, sunny, and calm days around the region this month, perfect for planting. Although some farmers in the northern River Valley are still struggling with excess moisture from last year, and some spots are too dry, the overall pace of planting, though, is good. It's keeping farmers busy, but as Jonathan Knutson found, it's also a busy time for those who help them.
It's warm, sunny, and not terribly windy. A nearly perfect day for planting here in Crookston, Minnesota.
Planting's been really good. We actually started out a little bit wet. We had our snow melt and caught into a little bit of a rain event where we had just timely enough rainfalls where it wasn't drying up, but then we did catch a good 2-week window where we've been in and able to get stuff in the ground. And that nice thing today with the big equipment, it doesn't take very long. Guys get going 5-6 days, and we cover a lot of ground.
Wangen says farmers there are likely to start planting soybeans in early May, and ideally they'd like a little rain.
Basically looking ahead, we have a lot of wheat, corn, soybeans coming up here in the near future going in the ground. So get another 10 days or so, we could use some rain, but things are looking good right now.
It's a long way until harvest. A lot can go wrong. But this field of wheat and the 2017 crop season in general are off to a good start. For Agweek, I'm Jonathan Knutson.
Our crop stop this week takes us to Chaffee, North Dakota, about 30 minutes west of Fargo. We found Matt Paulson planting seed production soybeans. He says Paulson Brothers Farms in Chaffee are then finished with all their planting this spring. They completed everything in this week of May last season too, but what they're planting has changed a bit in recent years.
You know, once the markets about two to 4 years ago started kind of going down, we started doing a lot more of the specialty crops. You know, probably not even 4 years ago, we were only growing corn and soybeans. Now we're doing corn, soybeans, sugar beets, barley, sunflowers, you know, seed production beans, you know, food grade beans, you know, things that you get paid a premium on. So it helps, you know, your cost per acre, you know, make up that gap some when you're getting these premiums.
The U.S. wheat industry now has another tool to defend its products against the gluten-free movement. The British Medical Journal has released a long-term study that finds people without celiac disease should not follow a gluten-free diet. Those diets have become extremely popular, but the study shows that gluten-free diets could increase the risk of heart attacks for people who don't have celiac disease. Celiac disease, also known as gluten intolerance, prevents people from digesting gluten, a protein found in grains. It's estimated 1 in 3 Americans are trying to avoid gluten. That's bad news for farmers who raise wheat, especially in North Dakota, which leads the nation in hard red spring wheat, prized for its gluten strength. Erica Olson with the North Dakota Wheat Commission says it helps reassure people when studies like this come out.
In working in this industry, this is nothing new. We've experienced these, I don't know if you can call them attacks, but on different commodities, different food groups over the years, and so it is nothing new. But I do think that many consumers are becoming more conscious of the science out there, and that eating a balanced, healthy diet is the optimal choice.
The study was led by researchers at Columbia and Harvard. It followed more than 100,000 people from 1986 until 2010. Will the weather continue to cooperate for planting? Your agri-weather forecast is next. And later, how one school is putting ag science to work in the classroom.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
The Stockyards Ag Experience tells the story of agriculture, beginning with the Sioux Falls Stockyards. You'll learn about how agriculture impacts our region and the world, and the science and culture that make it all possible. The Stockyards Ag Experience Barn features interactive exhibits in a renovated 1880s barn at Falls Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Stockyards Ag Experience showcases agriculture's story, from the farm to your table. For more information, call 332-1917 or visit us online at stockyardsagexperience.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Advanced biofuel for America's diesel engines is clean burning and made from renewable sources like soybean oil. Biodiesel fuel works in any diesel engine, reducing emissions, helping us breathe cleaner air. Biodiesel adds value to North Dakota soybeans, creating jobs, improving the environment, increasing our energy independence. Biodiesel, it starts with soybeans, it's fueling America.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
Widespread drought is no longer a problem across the United States. Interestingly enough, the area of drought focus has shifted from California to Florida. It's been extremely dry in the southeast. Florida and Georgia have the driest parts of the country, at least at the present time. There are patches of extremely dry areas in the Great Plains, but this is really more typically spring dry weather. And as long as we get some rainfall before high summer, most of these areas will be okay. But it's Georgia and Florida that are extremely dry. We've had a lot of warm weather and relatively dry weather in the northern plains, but this week represents the first really big chance for some widespread rains. It will start getting stormy, and I think that storminess will likely grow throughout the northern plains, courtesy of this evolving jet stream pattern, with a catch though. This type of pattern where the flow comes right out of the south and then moves up to the north usually transports a great deal of moisture northward, but it can also bring around patches of dry air, swaths of dry air, and we call these slots of dry air. And so some folks are likely going to be disappointed, but there will be the potential across the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, potential this week for some really beneficial rainfall. Some areas will get a nice soaking of rain. Other areas will get some nuisance sprinkles or some quick thunder showers and likely not get much rain out of it because we're still dealing with this high ambulatory jet stream pattern for the week ahead. And that will likely continue into the May 21st to 27th week, although this main trough will start to move out. We'll likely see it get replaced by a bit of ridging, which means the best chance for rainfall in the northern plains, upper Midwest area is going to be this week, maybe through this weekend, and then I think we may start to dry out once again. Temperature-wise, we're fairly warm around the air this weekend. That'll get knocked down a little bit by rain this week, but any really cool air will likely stay up north, eventually shifting into the Pacific Northwest this week. Hot weather will mostly be in the usual hot areas. As we head toward the second week, we may see some of that warm weather building back, although it looks like initially it'll be fairly cool. We may see, as this second ridge begins to build in, a second round of some warm weather into the northern plains. Overall, the second half of May, though, across the northern plains region is going to be, I think, a little bit cooler than the first part was and than the spring has been so far. So, what are we talking about overall? Rain chances are on the increase this weekend, this week, and next weekend into the northern plains and upper Midwest. That will bring eventually a spell of cooler weather, nothing unseasonably cool, just a little bit cooler. And the dry weather is mostly going to be confined to the southern states. But these rain chances are important. If we don't get rain, we're going to be dry for a while.
Located in the heart of the Red River Valley, Bloomfield Enterprises sells the finest trailers and farm equipment in the business. Family owned and operated since 1997, Bloomfield Enterprises is your place for BBI spreaders and accessories. We pride ourselves on carrying a wide variety of inventory for our customers to choose from. With a full-service shop and repair center, we are committed to taking care of our customers before and after the sale. Whether you're in the market for a new trailer or quality farm equipment, we have just what you're looking for. Call us today or visit us online at BloomfieldEnterprises.com.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, dedication and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
You make me wear my bike helmet. You taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
Premier Shortline USA is your dealer for Meridian storage and grain handling. 50 years ago, Meridian Manufacturing designed the first smooth wall hopper bin. This innovation set the standard for hopper bins across North America, completely self-cleaning with no obstructions. Smooth wall hopper bins have become the preferred choice for safe and efficient storage. For temporary grain storage to complete systems, contact Nate or Brent at Premier Shortline USA.
A high school student in northwest Minnesota is bringing ag into the classroom, but not in the way you might expect. As Jason Hibbs explains, she's using ag science to make some magic in the kitchen.
So today we are going to do our yeast lab and kind of get started for your guys' setup tomorrow.
At first glance, Britton Fugelseth looks like all the rest in Whitney Ruprick's ag science class.
Questions.
But rewind. And you'll find a skeptic Britton in 7th grade, forced by school rules to take a class she never thought she'd need.
When I walked in there, I was like, this is going to be a dumb class.
She was wrong. In fact, the class only whet her appetite for more. But there was a problem. What she wanted to study wasn't offered here at Fertile Beltrami High School.
She was kind of pushing that, Ms. Ruprecht, I really want a foods class. I really want a foods class. Can we focus on the science behind it? And so I just developed one for her.
But Miss Ruprecht needed help, and she got it.
And she really took hold of it. She started to recruit more people. She's helped me, kind of design the criteria for the ag science class.
And the others are catching on.
So that's been really fun because it's gotten a lot of kids knowing that agriculture is more than just plow sows and cows.
Britton's ag project this year, a startup business for Heaven Cakes, where she studied the science behind the food and made some money too. And while she's still a sophomore, she's already settled on a career.
I want to actually major in egg science and egg teaching when I grow up.
How you make bread? One of the best things ever is actually having a student go to be an ag teacher. She really wants to go to UMC, major in agriculture education, and be like me. So that makes me really happy.
Safe to say, this skeptic is sold.
I really, really want to teach kids and teach them what I once fell in love with.
Up next on AgweekTV, we'll see how some farmers in the Dakotas are helping victims of wildfires in Kansas and Oklahoma.
Adventure awaits at the Farmers Union Camp, presented by the North Dakota Farmers Union. Farmers Union Camp is the perfect place for young campers to develop cooperation, teamwork, and leadership skills. Campers will enjoy theme nights, skits, games, talent shows, and more. Camps are held at Wesley Acres and Hart Butte in June, July, and August. Register by May 15th to get $25 off your camp fee. For camp dates and more information, visit us at ndfu.org or call 800-366-8331.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries Batco belt conveyors field loaders, which minimize damage and help protect grade quality and germination performance of seed. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Contact Chad today.
AM 970 WDAY, North Dakota's oldest radio station, has added the Red River Farm Network to its lineup. Join veteran farm broadcaster Mike Hergert and the rest of the Red River Farm Network's team as they partner with AM 970 WDAY and Agweek to cover the area's #1 industry, agriculture. Join us Monday through Friday for Country Morning Today starting at 7 a.m., opening markets at 8:30, and market updates will run at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. Closing markets will run at 1:30 p.m. Tune in to AM 970 WDAY.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580. Some South Dakota farmers and businesses are helping ranchers affected by fires in Kansas and Oklahoma. Dakota Hay Auction in Corsica auctioned off donated hay this week, with proceeds going to those whose land was destroyed by wildfires earlier this year. More than 1,000 square miles along the Kansas-Oklahoma border was burned in early March. That's the largest wildfire in the state's history. About a month ago, 4 loads of hay were taken to Kansas. They don't need more, but they still need help. More than 16,000 miles of fencing was also destroyed, and they need money and supplies to replace it. So, South Dakota farmers are donating hay to be auctioned. The money is going into the Southern States Fence Benefit Fund.
After he came up with that, I said, well, we can help too. And this is what we're doing. We deal with ranchers and farmers, and we felt South Dakota can be heard that way. We're caring about what happened in Kansas and Oklahoma.
Auctions are held Mondays at 1 at Dakota Hay. Nearly $2,000 has been raised so far. If you'd like to donate money, there's a fund set up at the American Bank and Trust in Wessington Springs, South Dakota. We'd like to wish all moms a happy Mother's Day this weekend. Our photos of the week are of farm moms from around the region. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com. We'll see you next week.